Hello and welcome to another episode of Video Store Memoirs. As always, my name is Jana and sitting to my right is my BFF Kevin. Say hello, Kevin.
Good evening, one and all. How are you?
So, we have a new movie to talk about today. We actually took a little trip to this place called a theater.
What?
Yeah, and actually watched a new release together. I know you guys are used to Kevin doing some spoiler-free reviews for new movies on his own, but we actually went to something together again. We did Blue Beetle at one point.
Yeah, but that was August.
Yeah. But so we took a little field trip to the theater and we saw The Marvels.
Ah, yes. The MCU has given us another chapter in their glorious library of movies.
So before we get into our thoughts and feelings on this spoiler-free review, Kevin, tell us a little bit about what this thing, The Marvels, is.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you remember a few years back, I know it's going to be hard, it was before COVID, there was a little movie that came out between, let's say, Infinity War and Endgame. It was the introduction of Captain Marvel. This movie that came out just about a week ago is the finally a sequel to said movie. It's the continuing story of Carol Danvers, and she brought some friends with her this time. Let's see what our friends at IMDb said about this. Carol Danvers gets her powers entangled with those of Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau, forcing them to work together to save the universe. Straight to the point? Well done.
That's one of their better ones. I
Yeah,
like
okay.
that.
So let's start where we always start on this. Initial thoughts watching this movie, Miss Jana.
I was excited for it. Like you said, it's been a while since Captain Marvel came out, and then we saw her a bit in Endgame. And then
Haven't seen her since.
There wasn't much. Yeah, no. And they've been hyping and talking about a sequel. And then we had WandaVision, where we had the introduction of the Monica Rambeau adult character.
Correct.
And saw some of her, and so everybody started speculating, like, oh, they're leading up to it. She's going to have something to do. This is their intro to her. She's going to be part of the next Captain Marvel movie. And then, again, that was a while ago. And then we didn't hear anything for a while. So when they announced this finally with an actual premiere date and trailers started playing, I was excited to see it. Like, finally, as the MCU does, making us wait forever for things.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like standard 2 years, between stuff, and this took like at least, but then again, like I said, this came out before COVID, so we lost about 2-3 years of movies that probably would have come out a lot sooner,
And then, I also left out also in between that separately, they came out with the Miss Marvel TV show, Kamala Khan's show.
Yeah, her origin story.
Her origin stories. There was another Miss Marvel type Captain Marvel connection.
I absolutely loved this show, especially the actress. I'm going to find her, Iman Vellani. There we go, I said it right. She was born to play Miss Marvel. As a person who's actually read the comic, she read it and realized, oh, this is me. I'm going to become Miss Marvel. And basically, I think Kevin Feige thought the exact same thing. Like, okay, we don't need to hire any certain actresses for this. Like, well, we found this person. We're done.
Yeah, she's definitely a great character. So finally seeing the movie, it was okay.
I can honestly say for me, like, it wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a good movie. It was meh.
It was definitely not the best MCU, but it wasn't the worst either.
No, that hands down goes to Thor: Love and Thunder. that I will go down in history as saying I don't know what they were thinking. But anyway, I digress. We're talking about the Marvels right now. No rabbit holes here, people. Um, you know, unfortunately, the track record right now with Marvel has not been stellar since Endgame. So it's been touch and go with which ones really land a home run and stuff. But this one it felt a little rushed watching this movie. And also there were things that happened in it that I was like, why is this happening? How does this pertain to the movie? Because this is just odd. I will not spoil anything for you. You'll have to see it for yourself. But just know for me, there are a couple moments in this movie that I sat there scratching my head and looked at Jana like, what?
And some of those were my favorite moments of the movie.
Of course they were.
I squealed in the theater in certain...
She did, right in my ear.
So there's there's a couple of, and I agree with him though, that like the scenes that we're talking about didn't necessarily fit the mood of the rest of the movie.
No.
It was like they were trying to provide hey, this is some heavy stuff, let's provide some levity, but they didn't. While I thoroughly enjoyed it, I could see how it did not really fit in with the movie and what they were trying to do.
I think my problem with some of it is if it didn't, it seemed like those moments were so dragged out. If they didn't go as long, there would have been a quick, oh, yeah, that's kind of cute. But they just kept going and going. I'm like, all right, we get it. You're trying to land a joke. It's obviously not coming in for a land. This is crashing now.
Yeah, they could have definitely cut it down a bit, and it still would have made its point for those scenes. But yeah, I get the idea of the plot. I thought where they were trying to go was good. I just think maybe the execution wasn't as good as it could have been. And I know this is something that you said previously after we saw it, and I really agree. The Kamala Khan character, I think, made the movie.
Her character, her part in this basically 3-character story just took over for everything. For something that was called, basically supposed to be based around Captain Marvel, Captain Marvel was kind of like the third wheel in her own movie. Kamala Khan's character really, every time she was on the screen, stole a moment. Eyes were on her. She was captivating. She was funny. She was badass when she needed to be. And I was waiting for Captain Marvel to do that, and she never really did.
Yeah. Iman Vellani definitely stole the show. That, in my mind, she was the star of the movie.
Monica Rambeau, played by Tiana Paris, like I said, is second to her because she had some great moments. She had some great character depth. She was entertaining to watch. And again, how the heck do you have a movie starring this billion-dollar franchise star in Brie Larson and you don't use her?
Yeah. They definitely did not do what they could have with this story and intertwining the three of them and making it, if it's supposed to be, I think if it's supposed to be an ensemble movie and really supposed to be the three of them, they could have balanced it a little more. But if it's supposed to be a Captain Marvel feature with two friends helping, they could have featured Captain Marvel a little bit more.
We're looking right now at the movie poster. It's on our screen as we're talking about this, and Captain Marvel is front and center. She's the center point of this story. At least that's the impression you would get from looking at the poster. And honestly, they could have brought the other two forward and had her in the background.
Yeah. And really, when you think about where the movie went and what causes everything, I think really the movie really was more centered around the Miss Marvel character.
Yeah. I mean, you can. I think one of the problems why she wasn't so front and center, or at least in my mind, is the fact that everything that really had to do with setting up why this adventure was happening, why this threat was happening, that started with Captain Marvel, happened so fast and fleeting in the movie. They literally took 2 minutes to let you know why everything was really happening and why this threat has appeared. And that should have been something that should have been they should have dove in a lot harder. And this takes it back to what I was talking about earlier, where it's like this movie seemed rushed.
Yeah, they could have definitely eliminated some of the current timeline scenes and added a little bit more depth about the flashback and looking back at what happened and how they got there and developed that a little bit more, and that would have given Brie more strength in the story.
Agreed.
And then that could have lost some of the extra non-really needed stuff in the movie.
Yeah, just.
But yeah, they didn't do any of that, and so it is what it is. Again, it's not an awful movie. It's not the best MCU has made. Should you see it? Eventually. Should you go out to the theater to see it? I mean, you probably don't have to. Wait until it's streaming.
Yeah.
View it in the comfort of your own home.
Okay, so here, one last point to tell you exactly, hit home what we're talking about this movie, or at least from my perspective of this movie. I sat here, hour and 45-minute movie, waiting for, some real cool moments, to get that, yeah, kind of moment, where you kind of yell in the theater and the person next to you looks at you like, dude, I'm trying to watch this, And none of that happened until the mid-credit scene.
Yeah.
Where they're showing setup for next possible movies and stuff like that. That mid-credit scene gave me more, oh my god, than watching an hour and 45 minutes. And that scene probably took maybe 2.5 minutes.
Agreed. The end credit scene is definitely more exciting than half the stuff that happened in the movie.
Yeah. So, it's definitely, you can watch it because, I say watch it at least for Kamala Khan. But
yeah.
I would say, hey, go to see this on the big screen if you want, because there's a lot of cool this and that and the other thing. You can wait until streaming.
Yeah.
Wait until Disney Plus brings it out, and you'll be just fine.
Yeah. So my ratings for Clamshells, 2.5.
We are in agreement. I was thinking exactly 2.5. It's enough to get it by, but not much more.
Yeah. All right, well, that is our quick spoiler-free look at the recent release, The Marvels. Until next time, I've been Jana.
I've been Kevin.
And we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Night-night, people!